funny because I do from time to time get people, because people don't know 3 songs. You know, what's your favorite? There was one time I had posted a clip and I'm wearing a Black Flag shirt. And this guy was like, I bet he can't even name blah, blah, blah. Because the clip went kind of viral and it was
like some Black Flag?
Yeah, exactly. and then people were like ripping this dude apart because they were like, you have no idea who this guy is. Like, for you to come here and say that. And then they're like, but can he? And then they're like...
Not only can he, but it's like, name 3 Michael Jackson songs. It's like the most recognizable punk band ever.
Hello, welcome. It's HardLore time. How you doing, Bo?
I'm doing so good. Who do we got today?
What a beautiful day we have. This is a historic moment on the show.
A crossover.
It is a crossover.
Our first ever crossover with a stand-up comedian in HardLore history. Mm-hmm. We have the legendary Shapel Lacey.
I'm not a legend yet. I still got a roommate. Once I move out of that situation, I'll be a legend.
You see how fast he was?
That's quick.
That's why we gotta have him.
It's quick.
Chappelle's a hardcore kid.
Yes.
And he's a touring comedian. He's doing it. He's out there, and we wanted to get his perspective. Touring comedian world versus hardcore touring world. There's so much crossover.
Yeah, we think the Venn diagram is near a circle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we're here at Varsity in Los Angeles. We're gonna head into the back to Mills Vintage, look at some hardcore shirts, talk about some stuff, and just have a nice time.
Let's do it.
Let's head to the back.
Dude, you guys are killing it with the comedy already.
Oh, come on, man. What came first for you, punk and hardcore, or like music or comedy?
Music was the very first thing. Okay. Music was like, a major thing for me. I was glued to the radio, as a kid. I just, loved hearing all the things that I would hear. And, early on, it was like the West Coast hip hop. This was like when I was like early elementary school. So it was like Doggy Style, like NWA and Dr. Dre and all that stuff. And
you said you're in your 30s now?
Yeah, I'm 38.
38, yeah. Okay. I'll be 38 this year. So
okay, yeah. We're right there, 87, yeah. Yep. So... that was like the first of me. Then, then once I started switching the radio station and I heard Mississippi Queen by Mountain, and I just heard that, and then I heard that, and I was just like, I was like, what is this? And I didn't understand what it was. And so then I just started exploring like the rock and roll world, and, Nirvana was like a very, very big thing for me as a kid, and like Offspring, because that was this, that was like 94 now, all those,
Epitaph
Punk and all that stuff was like coming out, but I just didn't really know what it was. But what hit it hard was Korn.
Really?
Korn was like...
So nu metal was the bridge to the extreme.
When I found nu metal, because not even like emo or whatever, because all of us, like the beautiful thing of our world is we all kind of grew up in like hectic homes. And so I grew up in a very hectic house. My stepdad was crazy as fuck. And so... Korn was like the thing that matched the sound of like what I was like growing up in.
And you're from Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona.
That's
wow, you know
Korn.
Well, and also,
so I'm pretty sure you played the Nile then.
We'll get there.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Korn is quintessential bad stepdad music.
Yes.
I cannot think of a more, like, there's dad rock and then there's stepdad rock.
Yeah, there's stepdad rock.
It's my stepdad loves this, fuck this.
Yeah.
Or, I hate my stepdad, I love Korn.
I love Korn.
Which was it for you?
So, I hate my stepdad for sure. Oh my God. But, it was the first time I heard something in music that, like, Jonathan Davis and his lyrics, and, like, he was so vulnerable and everything he was opening up about with his home life, and like that song I think Daddy on the first record, and you just hear him crying at the end, and I'm like, what? I was like, this guy too, you know what I mean? Like you don't realize like what like others are going through when you're in like those kind of situations. So Korn was like just so dominant in my life.
How do you get from Korn to Madball?
Yeah. Okay, so what's crazy? So here's like my origin of like punk and hardcore.
Yeah.
So I want to say when I was in junior high, like I've always wanted to play like an instrument. I wanted to play guitar, a lot. That was like the biggest thing. And my junior high offered guitar classes, right? Yeah,
Sick.
which is as an elective.
As an elective?
As an
that's
elective,
crazy.
yes.
Damn, I had volleyball.
I had trumpet, dude.
That's cool.
And my guitar teacher was really dope. So I already knew like a lot of like, you know, some of the classic rock that, you know, like because he was a classic rock guy or whatever, you know, and he taught us on like Spanish guitars, you know what I mean? So that's how I was like learning. And then there was a guy in my guitar class, he was like, hey man, I play in a ska band, you want to be in it? And I was like,
Could have used that fucking
and I didn't know what ska was.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know what it was. And he was like, yeah, it's like ska punk or whatever. I was like, I was like, yeah, I was like, whatever. I don't care. I'll be in a band, you know?
Yeah.
And he goes, you mind playing bass? And I was like, because I'm black? No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that, but he was a really good guitar player.
Okay.
And so, but I didn't know how to play bass. You know what I mean?
Perfect entry level instrument.
And
It's the best one.
bass is actually really fucking hard. People don't even realize. I think it's hard.
It is. It's hard to be a great bass player. It's so easy to be a good bass player.
There you go.
It was just like the you know, the strength of those strings just like fucked me up. So like guitar just like feels better on my hands, you know? And so, yeah, so I go by his house, he's showing me all this stuff, you know, then he started showing me like No Effects, and I didn't really know anything about No Effects, but like Less Than Jake, you know, Skank and Pickle, all this stuff, Bruce Lee Band, you know, he just...
You a Boss Tones guy?
Yeah, he went Boss Tones. Yeah, like I'm telling you, like this guy was like showing me the world, and I was like, man, this is very unique, right? And you know, I fell in love with a lot of that stuff, Real Big Fish, all that. And it was just
So the Good
very
Burger
fun.
soundtrack
Yeah.
was big in the Lacey house.
Exactly. So
Our friend Mac is at home right now, like,
yeah. So it was crazy, like hearing that, and I was like, this was music that was just so fun, right? Just so fun. But then my friend's brother, he would wear a Black Flag shirt, but it just had this like the bars logo. This was just got my attention. It's
the coolest symbol in music.
And I was like,
is he an older brother?
It was his younger brother.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah,
Young head.
Yeah, so it was his younger brother. He was wearing he was wearing that shirt, and I was just like, what the fuck is that? You know, like, but the bars I just could not stop looking at, right?
Because what do they mean?
What do they mean?
you know what's beautiful?
But it just looked so like powerful. It looked strong, right?
You know what's beautiful about that? The guy who designed it, Pettibone, did all their flyers and everything. And when they were coming up with it, he said, Black Flag isn't a logo, it isn't a band. It should be a statement.
Ooh.
And he designed that just to do exactly how it worked.
Yeah,
I walk around town, you see bushes in the shape of that, and you go, there it is.
There it is. Yes. You see that statement.
It's everywhere.
So I asked him, I was like, his name's Joey. I was like, Joey, what is Black Flag? You know, and he's like, you never heard of Black Flag? I was like, no. He goes, oh, punk band from the 80s. He goes, let me show you. So we went to his computer, you know, which, you know, back in those days, if you wanted to use the computer in your house, you couldn't use the phone. Yeah. So we went to, it was early days of Kazaa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Yeah, you remember Kazaa. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so he like downloaded this video of Black Flag, and it was this Black Flag Target video.
Yeah, Rollins, shaved head, skinny as fuck.
And the song that was playing was Rise Above, and I was just like, so the strength of the bars matched exactly what I saw, and then I was just like,
Forgot all about Korn.
I forgot all about Korn. Forgot all about Korn and Slipknot. I forgot about all of it. Because I was like, and I saw Henry, and I was like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
He was like, that's Henry Rollins, and I was like, I need to know anything and everything about that man immediately, because, you know, like I had these like crazy anger issues, still do, but you know, and seeing Rollins up there like doing this art form that I'm like learning about and fascinated with, and you know, just seeing the way he would just project, and like you felt the lyrics and you felt his passion of him behind the, you know, like just singing into that microphone, and it was just so amazing to me. So I got deep into Black Flag.
Wow.
That was your
gateway.
That was the gateway.
That's a great gateway.
Some would say the top 32 gateway.
Top 32.
Top 32 gateway.
Not easy. Somewhere in the 27 range, but Warzone's a little better. Right?
Yeah. So it just like that hit me.
So from Black Flag, do you get to local shows at the Nile Underground?
Started going, yeah, dude. I spent all like my time at the Nile.
It's a hot room.
It like, you
Downstairs
know, this
too?
had to be like, like late 90s, early 2000s when I started going to the Nile.
When did you move here?
I didn't move to LA. I've been here 7 years.
Okay, so were you Mesa the whole time?
Mesa, yeah, Mesa, yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever go to the Nile while DMX was doing his quarter point?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Man.
There was a Bitter End Nails Ringworm Nulo's show that I played.
Was it in the basement?
It was in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yes, it was in the basement.
Yeah.
DMX was scoping out the venue because he was like, I want to do, this is my hometown.
He was living there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Had to.
And he had to. Rest in peace, one of the greats.
Yeah.
And he came downstairs. This is the staircase to get downstairs. Nails is playing. They go, tss, tss, tss. He goes straight back up the stairs. As soon as he hears one
Abe Simpson, dude.
and then we all ran outside like, God damn, X player, yo.
And there's a great picture of Bitter End with him.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that show.
That's
From that
amazing.
So that's sad that you didn't.
Yeah. No, I did not get to see him
What
around that
were the
time.
like formative local hardcore shows or bands that you remember coming through Mesa?
So the first show I ever went to was Mad Caddies.
Dude,
Yeah, Mad Caddies.
Mad Caddies played
Yeah.
the first show I ever went to.
Really?
With no effects.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
They're all the same.
Yeah, so I saw Mad Caddy's show, and it wasn't even I just needed to see live music, so I didn't care what it was. So a lot of the local stuff, it was like, it was just you see these street punk bands, you see these crust bands, I would see these like pop punk bands, and I just loved being at the Nile. Like I literally would just go to the fucking Nile.
Have you been back since the crazy like reconstruction?
I'm trying to think about the last time.
It's like
It's night and day now.
It's nice.
There's a
Really?
green room.
Yeah, the green room.
Whoa.
And the green room is an apartment.
And
It's
really,
awesome.
it's air conditioned.
And it's
Really?
Yeah.
believe-
Oh, the last time I went there was 2017. There was a small like comedy club that was like in the area for a short amount of time where I used to just like, it was like we would all go try out material there.
Sure.
And then my buddy was security guard at the Nile, which was like right around the corner from it. So you had to walk by the Nile, whatever. And then I think Devil Wears Prada was playing. Yeah, so that's the last time I went there. He was like, yo, go watch Devil Wears Prada. But I think that was the last time.
Shout out Jeremy.
Yeah,
Big
I was
time.
there. Yeah.
So where does comedy come in? Is it movies?
Oh, comedy?
Is it
No,
stand
hell no. Someone dared me to do it.
Really?
No shit.
Yeah, someone dared me to do it when I was cheering in college.
So this
in
is
Louisville.
post cheerleading.
This was like I was cheering. I was cheering at University of Louisville in Kentucky, and I used to get drunk. I don't do that. I'm straight edge now, but like, yes, come on. And so my buddies used to play these like acoustic nights at a bar. Like every Monday night, they just like how a bar would be like, hey, you
Kind
guys,
of open mic.
yeah, can you guys play from this time or whatever?
Yeah.
And one day they just asked me to come up on stage and like talk. And then I told a story about how I wrote a love album for a girl, and
Haven't we all?
Talk.
yeah, I know, right? And it did not go well.
Sure.
Meaning like the album, I poured my heart into that bitch.
She didn't respond.
No, she laughed at it,
Oh.
And then I asked for my album back, and she was like, okay. And then they told me she downloaded the songs onto her iPod.
Those were prized.
God.
Those were prized.
She's like, well, I'm keeping it.
When's the hate album?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the follow up.
The follow-up, yeah. The song. It was so stupid.
What was her name?
I'm not saying her name.
What's her name?
She still pays attention to everything I do. But she,
So she knows
no.
who she is.
No, it was so funny because like I named the album "Brutality in the Making" because I was like so punk with it still, but that was all acoustic songs.
There's something like Midwest emo about that.
Yeah.
That kind of works.
There he is.
Oh, right there.
He's
Right
everywhere.
there. He is
Oh, yeah,
everywhere.
right here, too. Nice hat.
Oh, nice.
Pretty
nice.
dope beanie.
Pardon this interruption. We got to talk to you about something extremely important. Are you in a band? Do you tour? Do you do merch? Do you TM? Do you do anything in the capacity of live music whatsoever? Mm-hmm. If so, I bet you need glasses.
I bet you do. I sure do.
And if you need glasses, how do you feel about getting some free glasses?
I couldn't feel better about that, Colin.
No strings attached. If you go to sightforsound.com, Nevin Eyewear is giving you free prescription glasses or sunglasses.
It's amazing, man. You fill out a quick little questionnaire, answer some questions. They will reach out to you via email, and they will sort you out.
Straight up. No strings. Just have your prescription.
Yep.
Get an eye exam. Send them your prescription. Tell them what band you're in, or whatever you work with.
Yep.
And you're getting free glasses straight up, or for prescription sunglasses. This is like a life-changing program. We're so honored to work with them. There's no strings here. I cannot stress that enough. Just go to the website. Trust me.
Yeah. Let's reiterate, because I've had people ask me, it doesn't matter if you're playing, driving, doing merch, teching, front of house, monitors, you work at a venue, you're a promoter who does stuff a lot. Put in your info. They're going to sort you out.
They just want to give back to the community that they're from. That's right. This is a small business owned by corpsmen. It's a for us, by us situation. So go to cyphersound.com, fill it out, get your free glasses. It's truly that simple.
That simple.
Click the link. Go. Description. Do it.
Can you see it?
You can you? Yeah. If you can even see it.
Two questions.
Yeah.
Were you the cheer guy? Like, are you tossing
You're
people?
the bass. You're the lucha bass.
So I was bass, but the thing I was really good at was tumbling. Like I could do all the flips. Yeah.
Explain.
So basically, like when I was younger, I started watching like martial art films. My stepdad loved martial art films. That's the one thing I like him for.
We started the day with the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
We put it on the way over here.
Yeah, so like Mortal
That's a much
Kombat,
fun.
like obviously the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
You go one or two?
One, dude.
Yeah, one is fun.
One's
You,
great.
are you two?
I
You
love
two
two.
guy?
I love three.
You know, I'm not opposed to three.
Yeah, three
They,
rules.
they had the little thing. They had the whatever.
Casey Jones back?
Yeah.
Which one's Ooze? Two?
That's two.
Yeah. Ooze.
Who's is two?
I wanted that Ooze.
Who's
Yeah.
two? Tokar and Razor.
I gotta get that Ooze.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash is super
But the third one was like they had to go to like Japan or something
that
like
one
that.
fucking
Yeah,
rules.
yeah, I like
like
that one.
feudal Japan.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
It's fucking dope.
Also like Surf Ninjas. Like all
Love,
those-
dude,
Yeah.
the fucking
Three ninjas?
Yes, Three
Three Ninjas is incredible.
like-
Surf Ninjas with Kino from Secret of the Ooze. Incredible.
Yeah, so my dad would watch like these old school like Asian ones, like the real Wu-Tang
sure.
movies. Yeah, like the actual like what Wu-Tang Clan kind of got their stuff from, and so he
Every
would watch
sample
those.
ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the samples you hear. So my stepdad would watch a lot of that, and I loved that shit. So I didn't take karate classes, so I just started teaching myself how to do flips when I was like, man, I had to be like 5 or 6.
Do you have any flip home videos?
When I was younger, nah, I only have them from when I was like cheering.
Yeah.
Like
Here's
when I
one.
was-
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know how you
Yeah,
did that.
I know. It's
Louisville,
just-
that was the Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah, which was like the hot school for
Yeah,
cheerleading.
yeah.
Like it was
Really?
a really, really hard school to get it, like to make the team.
And now, second question.
Yeah.
Tying in Rollins and stand-up. You and I are the same age. Did
Yeah.
you see his, like, did you, on
I
Comedy
got
Central?
to perform with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But when you were growing up, did you see his, like,
His spoken word,
on
stuff like-
Comedy
yeah, of
Central?
course, man. Like his words were very powerful for me. Like I always tell people, like, you know, Rollins and like Ian MacKay, like, you know, their words and what they spoke were like literally like, you know, got me
Gospel.
through my childhood. You know what I mean? It, you know, I've obviously songs like Rise Above, you know, from Black Flag, and then, you know, Stand Up from Minor Threat, you know, hearing that song, you know, Stand Up and Be Counted, and like hearing those lyrics is just, yeah, fuck yeah, I can do that. You know what I mean? And those were just like things that I just, you know,
Love
just
it.
helped me. So, you know, still today.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Ian's birthday yesterday. Day
Yeah,
of filming.
yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Ian.
birthday, Ian.
Happy birthday, Ian.
So, when you're getting into punk and hardcore, how fast did you get a Black Flag shirt?
Immediately.
You hit the red zone at the Mesa Mall.
It was literally the scissors.
Oh,
That was the first one the first one
I
I
love
bought.
this one.
Yeah. Oh, the My Rules.
Yeah, that one's great. It's a great one.
Yeah.
With the Eminem
Yeah,
middle
and
finger.
the hand gesture looks so like weird.
Yeah, it's so-
Yeah, it's kind of like just like
Pedimon was like,
yeah, just like yeah,
Big
yeah.
Vic's on it.
Yeah.
Look at this.
There it is. There it is.
Steven, grab that. Thank you, Vic.
Yeah, thank you, Vic. Yeah.
place is the best.
It's just so funny because it just looks like so
It's like, fuck you.
like a lazy like.
it's like a French guy saying,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
"Hey, fuck you."
Yeah, but the Black Flag shirt came immediately.
So when we start to advance into punk and hardcore, how do you get harder? How do you get harder?
How you get hard? This is
Viagra.
Lucha. We got nothing to do with Lucha.
Nothing to do with it. How do you start to get musically more heavy and
So you
hard?
ready for this?
Yeah.
So here's my origin, and here's where it happened for me. I actually started listening to a bunch of Swedish bands.
Oh, like who?
This band called DS13, Demon System 13,
Yep.
out of Umeå, Sweden. Dennis from Refuse, it's his younger brother's band.
okay.
And so I started getting into that before I actually got into American hardcore.
Wow.
No shit.
Yeah,
How did
so-
you find that?
How the fuck did I find
You're
it?
on the Scandinavian dark wave.
Yeah, right.
On Kazaa, on
Soul Seed.
Yeah, you're right.
downloading shit. Crazy.
You'd want the whole album.
Yeah. So my homie gave me a record of
Kazoo.
DS13, this DS13 album, and it was just so like dope for me. And it was like probably one of like the hardest albums that I had heard. And then I just started digging into like the Swedish like underground scene, in Umeå, Sweden. And so obviously like you find like Refused, but I was finding like bands like it's so funny. So I was on Toby Morse's One Life, One Chance podcast, and he had Dennis from Refused on.
Oh, shit.
And it was so funny because I showed Dennis my tattoo because I have a DS13 or whatever it is.
How many of those are?
I know, right?
Yeah,
just like
There's about 12 of them.
exactly.
in the
And so
You're the 13.
Dennis looked at it. He like lifted his glasses up. He's just like, "How do you know that?" Because it's like it was like just so deep. You know what I mean? And I was like naming all these like bands that he was just like, "Who are you?" I was like, "Dude, I was a 15-year-old kid that got kicked out of class, so I had to sit in homeroom. I don't know if you guys remember that, like homeroom. Yeah. So I had to sit in
the best part of
homeroom.
the day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the best
was.
part of the day. Yeah. And so I had to sit in homeroom, and so I was just on the computer, and I found this like Deranged Records or whatever. Found that like record label, and then it just showed all these like Swedish bands, and so that's where it went hard for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get into like the American stuff until like later.
Yeah, what did
It's
that
pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
what does that look like as you get into American bands?
Looks a little bit like this, my man.
Yeah,
that one right
yeah,
there.
yeah. And I mean, Madball is just something. I mean, especially when you watch those early videos, man, like that
just raw
Pride
about
video,
it. Yeah.
and just like what you feel and what it is, and like, and I mean, if people don't even realize like the volumes, like it speaks to guys like us and what that like means, and there's always those memes of like people that I don't know who did this, but it's like people in the pit or whatever, and then it said guys still not going to therapy or whatever.
We don't need it.
We don't need it. We got that. You know what I mean? Which they are right. You know what I
Our
mean?
therapy is $10.99 with fees.
Yeah, exactly.
On Dice, Dice app now.
Yeah. So yeah, Madball. But if I had to pick one that like speaks the strongest to me,
Yeah.
it's got to be TUI.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gotta be
So
TUI.
this is, let's see, like early mid 2000s. It's
When I got into that?
into like
No, you know what? Actually, who did? No, because I stayed there for like a while. Honestly, I didn't even know about TUI until I met Justice.
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
met Justice in like 2020.
2020.
I had no clue.
So
So
were
you
you
got to retroactively take it all.
Yeah. So what's cool is that like it's all like fresh to me in a way that like, and I think I always say this. There's things that come into my life at the right time. You know what I mean? Like where I feel like I need this like boost or whatever, something that like kind of just like lifts me up. And I think when I had met Justice before I even listened to TUI, and I was just like, this guy, I thought he was just such an interesting dude, and very well spoken and very nice guy. And then as I was listening to that, and just like, man, I was like, I needed this at the age that I was at the time when I had met him, and it just meant a lot. You know what I mean? Like those words, like it kind of like it helped me understand, because I feel like I've always been like a lone wolf.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I feel like I've always kind of just like, even though I was like, going to shows, like I went to shows by myself a lot. Then also like with cheerleading, like there wasn't many cheerleaders who were like me. Of
course.
You know what I
What do
mean?
you
And
mean?
like, what are you talking about?
Crazy.
And then so also like being in comedy, there's not a lot of guys, like me as well, that are like going to these shows. Like me, most comedians, like they're always like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
What
what
are you
is your
listening to?
life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Are there other like secret punks in comedy that we don't know about?
Yeah, for sure. There's this dude named Chris Estrada. He's not in the hardcore per se, but like he's like a big Clash guy. Like he's like in that world of punk, Dead Kennedys, that that kind of stuff. And there's this dude in New York named Brian Vokey, who's another guy. I think he played in like bands. I think he had a band called Neon Piss or something like that.
We've all been there.
Been there. Been there. So when you get dared at this kind of open mic kind of situation, what year is that? How old were you?
The open mic, that was in 2010.
You in your cheer uniform?
I know, right? I should have just went over there. It was funny because I told one person on my team, I was like, hey, man, I think I'm going to do that comedy thing that people were daring me to do. And he was like, oh, hell yeah. He goes, well, let me know. I'll pull up. I go, cool. I was like, just you, though. Like, I don't want anyone to fucking know.
No.
Right? Dog, my whole cheer team
But that's beautiful.
came to this open mic. And I was just like...
You got a laugh track.
I know, because it was so funny. I was like so nervous and, obviously, and I remember this guy came up to me. He was like, "You're gonna bomb." And he goes, "But it's fine."
You.
I know, right? Yeah. He goes, "But it's fine. You're gonna bomb. It's fine." He goes, "Good luck." You know what I mean? And I was just like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
but
right,
like,
I'm the bomb.
Yeah, I'm the bomb.
Thanks,
oh
man.
yeah, hell yeah, dude. And so I go up there and, I don't even remember the first jokes I told. It was just me kind of talking shit. I think it was me talking shit about like this girl that had led me on. You know what I mean? It was pretty emo.
Classic.
Classic. It was easy. And she was in the audience too, which is like kind of funny.
She's actually right there.
Yeah.
And, could you stand up?
Yeah, could you stand up? Yeah. And so, after that, I was like, I'm dropping out of college. As soon as I got on stage.
No way.
You just felt it.
I felt it. I knew it.
Whoa.
I've truly always wondered how that moment happens, because there's like, I have to imagine one of the hardest parts of being a comedian is telling people like, hey, I think I'm really good at this. I think I'm really funny. Yeah. And I need to get paid for it.
Yeah. To be able to tell yourself like you're funny and like
funny enough
to like go up on stage and do, and that was the thing. I didn't really know much about comedy. Like I knew some like, some pretty dominant comedy specials, but I thought only famous people did it. Like if you're an actor, I didn't know that like you could just go to
the path.
Yes.
To get there.
I didn't know you can go to like they all started at open mics and do building themselves as a comedian, because like I knew Dave Chappelle's Killing Them Softly, but I knew Dave Chappelle for like Half Baked and like Screwed and
there's a line in
Men in Tights.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Men
so
in
like
Tights.
so like I knew
Look
him,
at yourself.
I knew him for
so fucking
Dude, the Screwed bit where he's talking about what he's gonna do with the money when they finally get it.
Yeah.
And his response is, "I'll laminate my menu."
Yeah.
Goes through my head once a day. So good.
Something we were talking about this morning.
Yeah.
And something we often talk about is wrestling, comedy, and underground music are all kind of the same thing.
For sure.
You're grinding, you're cutting your teeth, getting paid fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
And you gotta go, and the ones who last kind of last. You can cut the line and be bigger
Miraculously in a Dane Cook-esque way.
Yeah.
Where everybody hates your guts, but you're getting paid.
But you're getting paid. But what I find, what we like and why we identify with it is like you guys are going up for 5 minutes, 10 minutes at first, not getting paid very well. It's just over and over again. And we identify with that because we do that
It's the same
for years.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like it's the traditional of like, you eat what you kill. You know what I mean? So like if you don't go out and like do something about it or, make the thing happen that you want to make happen, then like you can't just expect anything. And, a lot of times like you're, with comedy especially, you're eating like a bag of dicks on stage until like you finally hit that moment where you make the whole crowd laugh. You know what I mean? And no one's looking at you weird. They're looking at you like, wow, this guy's good. This guy's good, And so when you feel that moment, you get addicted to it, obviously, and then it just makes you want to go more and more and more. And that's like the beauty of, and I love things that are like super, super hard to do. Like the type of cheerleading I did was like competitive cheer, and it was like it's really, really hard. You're going out there and like you're, jam packing like all these skills into a 2 minute and 30-second routine, and you're like throwing humans in the air, and you got to catch them with your hands, and you're doing all these flips, and you got to land on your feet, and all in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So like you know, in doing that, I was just like, I got to be the best that I can be at this. So I got like really, really good, like scholarships for it, world champ for it, all these things.
So you won your goal. You're a medalist.
Yeah, medalist, gold medalist. Like
Man.
when I say world champ, legit beat other countries. So it wasn't like you know, like World Series, you know, where
Yeah.
you know, and so doing that, and also with skateboarding, that was like another thing too. Like when I started off with that, it was like I want to be the best that I can be at this, and that's just kind of how I like my brain like trains me, and honestly, like, you know, learning about the ethics of like DIY and in the punk and hardcore world, and just kind of having that foundation, you know, I think it catches a lot of like these industry people that I like, you know, because I'm in that world in a sense, and you know, catches them off guard to where I'm like, okay, well, really, if you don't want to help me, it's cool, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'll do it. You know, I don't give a fuck, you know. And like, it's wild stories. Like, my manager, she comes from hardcore. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. Like she was stage diving at like Gorilla Biscuits. You know, like she
gets it.
Yeah, she gets it.
That's a
so
manager.
That's the perfect partnership.
and it's crazy how we came together and all this stuff, and it's just like so wild. And like, she's like a tatted up, you know, human, and she, meanwhile, she's around these like suits and all this stuff, but like, you know, she speaks, you know, like speaking on my behalf, you know, as my manager, she fucking kills it, but she understands, you know.
And
like,
that can't be taught. It has to be
it
experienced.
cannot
to be
be. It
learned.
has to be experienced,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so she comes from the world, you know. And
That's perfect. So she's like a double agent. She's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Because
Yeah.
somebody
In sheep's
bullshits her,
clothing.
she comes to you and goes, "This guy's full of shit."
Oh yeah, she'll let me know immediately. Like, you know, she can read it, and she could see my face whenever, you know, something's like, she'll fucking. I'll tell you a story off camera.
Yeah, for sure. There was something I've mentioned before. I don't even remember names, but like one of the times when I went and saw Ian, and I was hanging out in the green room, and there is such a clear distinction between, oh, do you know this guy who's over here? And oh yeah, I did that club. Oh yeah, I did the, and then people who aren't that way.
Yeah.
There's such a clear like cut.
It's clear
and,
cut.
and you can, and it tends to be people who are a little more
Yeah.
on the DIY side versus I don't know. the
Yeah,
other
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. And my
it's
my thing is like, you know, especially learning from like Rollins. Like Rollins is like get up and go. 100%. You know, like his shit. Like he's just, and so I kind of like live by that. You know, like I've only been in LA for 7 years, and you know, it's very flattering. Yeah, it's very flattering that people are like. People think I've been here way longer than what I have because of the things that I've been able to accomplish. But
I assumed you grew up here until he told me.
yeah,
this morning.
Yeah, I molded in pretty like well, and you know,
The Nile Underground will mold you.
it'll mold you. It'll mold
It'll
you.
melt you.
You'll
Dude,
be
I remember
clay.
being a kid, man. They used to have this couch up in that bitch. That couch was so dirty, and I remember one time I fell asleep during one of the bands, like. I fell asleep on that couch, and I'm telling you, there's probably been just piss, spit, like all this shit.
100%.
But it's also like I woke up and was like, yeah, it's fucking what we do. You know what I mean? Like,
Are there local Arizona bands from that time?
Where Eagles Dare.
connection? Where Eagles Dare,
cool.
of course.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
Run with the Hunted Arizona? Am I correct there?
Were they Arizona?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Let me ask you.
What was Mark Nava's band?
And then also,
Condemned?
I was going to like a lot of Crush shows.
Nice.
Cool.
Crush was like fun, and I didn't even dress that way.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's ugly. Horrible look. Good
shirts.
Brown.
Brown. Yeah, right? Yeah. Dude, I remember when I bought I can't remember which record it is that I bought of them, but that was like
Misery
Index?
Yeah, Misery Index. Yes,
Yeah.
Misery Index.
That's
Yeah.
we call that a double. So you finish it and you just let it go.
Yeah, just like, yeah.
It's fine because it's 18 minutes.
Yeah, 18, yeah.
Do you remember the first set you did with stand up out of state? Because that's always a big thing for
big.
us. It's like when you play outside of your home state, it's like we're doing it.
Man, I want to say I went to DC.
Fuck yeah, that's pretty
Went
far.
to DC, yeah, it's pretty far. Yeah,
Was
pretty
it-
far. That was the first time.
Was it for a show or like a fest or something?
It was for a show. I was opening for Frank Caliendo, OG comedian. Yeah. There's a lot of impressions and stuff like that. Yeah, he.
Was he a Mad TV guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy. He's awesome. Is he
he's
the-
awesome. He does the Madden.
John
John
Madden.
Gruden. He does
Bush.
Bush. He does so much.
He's
And so,
unbelievable.
he took me to DC, and which like DC is probably like one of my top favorite cities to perform in.
we're gonna get
They
there.
they handle comedy really well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, because they're all like, I just think they accept it for the art that it is, the art form that it is.
Well, because they're living in bureaucratic bullshit surrounding them, so
They need a break.
They need the
They
satire.
need- yeah.
They have
More
to.
than they need.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Should we take a look at maybe some shirts?
Maybe we should look at some shirts.
Yeah.
What do you look for? I know you're not buying your off shirts.
I look for things that people do not have.
Okay.
Beautiful. Love it.
I'm very strategic about the shirts that I buy.
You don't want to be
1,000.
showing up match. You don't want to be this guy.
No.
You don't want to do this with somebody.
I know.
Dual shot. Come on.
Yeah.
I
you
was
don't wanna,
Krishna today.
Yeah, exactly. I do not want to do that at all. So I try to find like something that I know that most people are just not going to have. Like, and that's why I come to find out, that's why a lot of people comment on my shirts, because so many people are like, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Like I find like the unique ones. Oh, they have a phobia shirt. Wow.
I like that you put on
phobia in a
for a
minute.
lot of current bands.
Yes,
You know?
I do. Yeah, because I just remember there was a time. I mean, remember those days of watching like Dawson's Creek, and at the end of the show they would like talk. They would like show you what bands were like on. That's how I have
That and the OC, they would play the
yeah,
venue.
Yeah, they were like,
put
yeah,
on
this is
something.
fucking
Yeah.
Interesting.
Graduate by Third Eye Blind. That's how you.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
Track.
dude, track.
That whole record is
time
great, but that's
Isn't
my.
that kinda
that's-
crazy?
Yeah, the
Crazy.
whole record is great.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it again.
No.
Who needs to do it again when it's that
Yeah,
good?
they got it. I
Yeah,
fucking
but
love
like
it.
you would see that, and so yeah, man, I always try to like rep for like the younger bands out there, because why not? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, and also like I love them. You know what I mean? I love them. If I love it, I'm gonna rock it. I don't want to rock something that, especially and it's funny because people, I do from time to time get people, because people don't know. Like
That's why we're here.
yeah,
We're here to see
they'll
what
ask me
it's
like how many, the
crazy.
three songs. What's your favorite? There was one time I had posted a clip and I'm wearing a Black Flag shirt, and this guy was like, I bet he can't even name blah blah blah, because the clip went kind of viral, and it was
Like
some
Black
random
Flag?
Yeah, exactly. and then people were like ripping this dude apart because they were like, you have no idea who this guy is. Like, for you to come here and say that. And then they're like, but can he? And then they're like,
Oh, God.
just do some type of search.
Yeah.
Just do some type of search.
Not only can he, but it's like, name 3 Michael Jackson songs. It's like the most
Might as well
recognizable
be.
punk band ever.
Ever.
It's hilarious.
Ever. But yeah, that is one of my favorite things, is to put on shirts of like, younger bands and stuff like that.
I mean, you talk about finding TUI in 2020, and
Yeah.
that like they've been a band for 13.
yeah.
Hello. They've been a band for 13 years at that point.
Uh-huh.
It shows it does take time to be timeless.
Yeah.
There was a culture shift in hardcore to that demo and their 7-inch and both LPs.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see somebody who's liked this music their entire life connect with something modern and be like, no, this is the best.
Yeah, I definitely, I'll be on the search. I love, finding out about, like, especially if it's something that's already been around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love finding out about it. And I remember being a kid, like, this is the funny stuff, my funny story with Madball is like, I remember being a kid, and I remember getting this like magazine back in the day that I would get. It was, I can't remember exactly, but on the back of the magazine, it would just like have all these like bands, like logos and like names or whatever. But like I thought Madball was like in the world of like Pantera for some reason.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, because it was like I remember just seeing those names like near each other in this like magazine and shit like that. And then meanwhile, when I got into the Set It Off record, and demonstrating my style is like that is
From
like,
the very
that is
beginning.
like
You have a favorite?
yeah, demonstrating my style.
Do you have a favorite Madball record overall?
Madball record overall?
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough.
We find
I'm like,
as we get older, we
some
become
also like Hold It Down is like,
yeah.
we become Hold It Down guys. So,
like it's that's.
Set It Off is like kind of the one.
one.
And then I think once you
I think Set It Off is like a guaranteed.
a guaranteed.
You know
like
what I
a
mean?
given, yeah.
That's a given.
front to back perfect, but then you find
You
later
find-
the depth.
I know.
I think Can't Stop Won't Stop is one of
yeah.
the best hardcore songs ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
And I can't stop, won't stop. I mean,
2
and
minutes.
it's only I was like, it's a short,
minute song.
it's a short song.
Into the title track.
And then
also.
into the title track. Oh.
the way
what it's
it
all
hits
about.
into that chorus, just
And I it's
stop,
so
won't
fucking
stop.
good. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great song.
Are there other modern hardcore bands that you've really connected with?
Yeah, like
over
when
the past couple of years?
when did you hear Terror for the first time?
Terror. for the first time.
They had a seasonal residence at the Nile. I'd say.
They were Frank Sinatra
Yeah.
of the Nile.
The Grand
They had
Sierra
their
Resort
residency.
wasn't built yet. So they were doing-
Tony Bennett, the Rat Pack. That
Exactly,
was Terror of the
Exactly.
Nile.
100%.
Terror was around that time too.
Yeah, good.
You know what I mean? Around the time of like TUI. So TUI was like the gateway to like a lot of that stuff that I just like took it. Ones I really like right now, Pain of Truth.
Beautiful.
Great band.
Yeah, they
Friends of the
hit
show.
really, really fucking hard, man. And
Yeah.
their shows look fun. I haven't gotten to see them live yet, but like the shows look like so much fun.
Yeah, they're
and,
great.
You know, I was at Speed the other night, and I got
How
seen
was-
them.
how was that?
It was great, man. I
Yeah.
mean, they're good, and they're like these sweetest humans.
100%.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm like, who made you guys? You know what I mean? They're just like
Australian
sweet.
God is different.
Yeah,
American God.
Yeah, it's
And my first time actually seeing Speed was at Sound of Fury. I want to say was maybe 2022. I think it was their
it was-
first time ever playing America.
2 or 3. Yeah, there was that was.
Oh, no, it was 2. It
that
was 2.
was the show that it, like made
Yeah,
that.
They
yeah,
made them, yeah.
yeah,
That
exactly.
was the one,
that was
like-
where the guy was like,
And Shaq retweeted that.
yeah, exactly. That's the show that,
Yeah.
So I saw them there, and I was just like, fuck yeah.
Like, we were watching that from kind of across the field, just like,
Oh Lord, something's happening.
What is happening?
I had my own like angle of that dude.
yeah.
You know,
Like crowd
punching
killer,
crowd killer or whatever. You know, and so it was just kind of funny that was the thing that like really obviously like popped it off, but it was so dope. You know what I mean?
Were
But-
you in, like, going back a little bit in those early punk, like Mad Caddies, were you in just the silliest push pit?
I mean, come on.
Of course.
You
dude.
had to be.
Are you
had to be. You're like,
All your shoes getting fucked.
are you tumbling in the pit? Are you backflipping?
oh, I used to all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I used to do front flips over
I mean,
people.
I would hope so.
Yeah, people thought it was like the dopest thing. They used to, I don't think they had a nickname for me. I feel like they were shout flips or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just like literally just run up, front flip over somebody, and then just like
Damn.
go for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was crazy.
Were you ever like a small guy, or have you been?
I mean, I was like a lot more shredded.
Okay.
Sure.
But like, I mean, also I was bigger than most people for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I would trust you.
yeah.
Physically.
Yeah, I would
flip
have
me
people
around,
set up. I was like, get down on the floors, and I would just be like,
Mine.
yeah.
Damn.
And then we would just get it.
If I had that ability,
Yeah.
everyone would know. So I hope you.
He goes, I'm telling
keep it
everybody.
It's
is
not gonna be a
knowing."
secret.
They're gonna know. Hey, that's the backflip guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of my favorite stories from like this is how much like pits and like the music meant so much to me. I remember I ditched cheer practice to go see. Sorry, coach.
Cheer bad boy.
Yeah, cheer bad boy over
Squad.
here. I ditched cheer practice to go see. There was co-headlining tour. It was Circle Jerks and GBH, right? And I think Circle Jerks went first at this one. It was at the Marquee Theater.
Okay.
And so I was so excited, and I remember Circle Jerks had closed with Nervous Breakdown, and I have Nervous Breakdown tatted on my stomach.
Oh,
right?
no shit.
Not at the time, not at that when I was
Yeah,
a
okay, I gotcha. But you identified with that.
I identified with that song. And
Rollins version or Dez version?
if I had to, so this is how I pick Black Flag singers.
Yeah.
So I love all of them. Rollins is my number one, but I love Keith Morris's Nervous Breakdown. I love Dez's version of like American Waste.
Beautiful.
I love Rollins version of like Thirsty and Miserable, and then Ron Reyes. I love his No Values.
Ron Reyes. I can never remember that guy's name.
So yeah,
Okay, cool.
so like that's how I.
Are they your
but
favorite band? You'd say. You're doing that was favorite.
It's
band.
Oasis and Black Flag, like back and forth.
Oh, now.
Yeah. Now you're cooking.
Are you a Be Here Now guy?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, come on now. Yeah.
I think if Acquiesce, this is I've said this all the time. If Acquiesce and Master Plan were on Be Here Now, it would be the best
The
record.
best
It would
record.
be
It would be
undeniable.
massive.
We wouldn't be hearing any of this bullshit.
Be
today.
massive. So yeah, they closed with Nervous Breakdown, and I remember there was a barricade at the show, which was like kind of odd, because most shows aren't barricades. And I remember Keith said, "Come up if you want to sing it," and then I was just like. And then as soon as that, so I hop over the barricade, and I remember I just hopped over, and I immediately, as I tried to get to the stage, I got tackled.
Security?
Security
hell?
tackled me. We broke something that was down there, and he was holding me down,
Oh.
holding me down, right? And then all of a sudden I see his head like doing this, and I just hear, get the fuck off him, get off him, get off him. And fucking, he gets off of me, and I see a hand reach out. It was Keith Morris.
Oh, man.
He grabbed my hand, and he pulled me up on stage and let me finish the song.
Wow.
Keith.
Yeah.
OG Pump.
You never forget that.
I'll never forget that.
That's the thing where you
That's
go,
when I knew, like,
That's my
the
favorite
community aspect of, like, who we are and what we do. Like, we fully understand each other. You know what I mean? He understood, like, yo, that's not what we fucking do. That's not what you're not here to fucking kill this kid. You know?
weren't trying to
Also,
hurt.
the security guard probably didn't think I was a kid because I was, like, his size. I was
This
like,
guy just fucking quadruple backflipped up here. What do you want me to do, Sarge? Take him down?
I can't get him. I can't get him, dude. He's,
Yeah, I'll try. I can't.
Yeah.
He's too fast.
His vertical leap.
Damn it. I got him.
That was great. You got good hops.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, let him get loose.
Wait
He'll
till
spin
later.
kick.
Okay,
over your
okay.
head.
Game over.
Yeah.
So in terms of touring,
Okay.
we were talking earlier about how a stand-up comedian, you figured it out.
You cracked the code.
You're a one-person army.
Let us explain.
Yeah.
A little bit for those listening
Okay,
as well.
yeah.
So, like I said, comedy, music, wrestling. Wrestlers are often, like when Brody was starting out, it's just him, but he's got his wardrobe, he's got merch if he wants it, he's got all the shit he has to deal with. We are splitting shit 5 ways, sometimes 6. We've got gear, all the bullshit, checking into the airport with a ton of people, like all the bullshit that comes with that. Do you even bring a mic with you?
No.
Figured it out.
You don't even need to know what a Pelican case is. Ever.
No.
No.
Never have
You
to do
got
a
it.
phone case.
You know?
You guys figured it out.
I don't even have to do a damn sound check.
Wow.
I'm like, is the microphone on?
If it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
work, that's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, I was a cheerleader. I'll shout it.
Yeah, right.
I got this.
I am Shapel.
Pretty good motion. That was tight.
Good.
Wow.
He's tight. He's German.
Take it easy. Yeah, so like you, I never knew until probably COVID when like I was really on just YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
That like, oh, comedians like grind. And that's kind of when this
time.
popped into my head. So that's exactly what we were trying to point out is like with touring, your first early tours.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you, aside from going to DC, like, are you hitting the road? Are you flying? If you don't mind me asking, like,
So a lot of you know, for right now, like a lot of it is flying.
Yeah.
Until I start getting like the theaters, because like the way comedy clubs work is like you're going out and doing weekends. So you go out and do
which is also you beat it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the cheat code.
So you go in Thursday, you leave Sunday, and so you go back home wherever you are, and then you go and you kind of repeat the same process or whatever. But sometimes you do some off nights or whatever. Like usually starting out touring, you do some off nights at some clubs and stuff like that.
and aren't you like at the same venue multiple nights too?
Yeah, you're at the same venue multiple
That's
nights. So
good.
you do
Another
we do early.
cheat.
So we do
Home-based hotel
So we
is
do
the
early and late shows. So like Thursday, you'll usually do just one show. It'll be like a 8 p.m.
People
show.
got work.
Yeah, exactly. So and then the next nights, like Friday and Saturday nights, it's like a 7 p.m. show and then like a 9:30 show or whatever, and that's pretty much what you do throughout the weekend. But as you're building and like once you start selling out these clubs, because some of these rooms are like, in the range of like 250 to maybe 500 at most, and if you're selling out those bigger 500 seat rooms, like if you're selling out 5 shows over a weekend, yeah, you can move up to theaters. But for comedians, it's a little tougher to make money in a theater because
It's expensive to.
it's expensive.
Turn the lights on.
Yeah, exactly. So the way you make your money is if you're really selling tickets, you do 2 shows.
Right.
So you do an early and a late show.
Yeah, the Chicago Theater. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, the Vic Theater or no,
No, Chicago Theater right on State Street is like one of the most beautiful, gorgeous places I've ever
Yeah.
seen. And I'm not really into comedy. I'm more so into comedy in the last few years, but like growing up, I never really was. But I went and saw Eddie Izzard perform there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is just must what it always be like.
Yeah.
Like clearly, there's
no
all these
way.
people here.
No.
They are doing one show. Like it's got to be, And yeah, once I start learning about like our side of the industry and like venue costs and overhead and staffing
yeah.
and security
Yeah.
and front of house and all the bullshit you gotta like pay for.
Yeah.
It's like,
And the difference, like, so I'd say, like, so, I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, so selling tickets in comedy is really hard. It's like that's like another step because you can be funny as fuck, but getting people to like, go, I'm going to buy a ticket and sit down and watch this person
Be funny.
be funny.
Instead of just
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm in town for the night, wonder if there's some comedy happening.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it takes a while to like sell some tickets. I mean, sometimes like, some random things will just pop off for you online or whatever to where you're able to do so.
You
But
got
a
some
lot of
good
times.
reels.
Yeah, oh thank you. I
We just-
appreciate it.
We're real grinds, man.
I mean, that's another similarity also with wrestlers.
Yeah,
reels, man.
yeah,
It's
the
like,
reels are really what.
dude, if you're a 1099, you need a reel.
you need a reel, yeah. It really helps us out. But I think with bands, it might be a little bit easier because you can stack the bill. Like, this band has a following, this band has a following. Like, not like major following, but like collectively we can make a show happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like comedy, if you're a lone wolf. So
then when you have openers and features, is that how it goes? Like direct support is a feature?
yeah.
So when you're doing that, are you like, or do the
Hands-on.
headliners have hands on in that, or is it just kind of like the club has a guy?
So like if you ever want to bring, like if you ever want someone to open for you specifically, that's all on you. You know what I mean? But also like you got to get them there. You know what I mean? Whereas like, like until you're like making like pretty good money and can pay for someone to come out there, like a lot of times you're just using what the locals that
What they
they have
got.
in town.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Same as hardcore.
same
Same as
sometimes
hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not the best.
No, listen. We
Not
need.
the best
You need
local talent.
The shitty local opener goes on to be the headliner someday.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's cool to watch it happen.
and it does happen. You know what I mean? Like I've bombed for like locally for like being a local in Arizona. I've bombed for like headliners, before whatever. And like now I'm at where I'm at. But
Now,
yeah,
when you
it is-
say bombed, let's see if we can translate this for us.
go for it. Yeah.
Because we'll have sets that, like, I'm sorry,
Just do it.
like the FYA set that he played a fest in Florida. He was playing guitar in his newer band, Holy Blade. Didn't go so great. A lot of technical issues.
Oh really?
His-
It's not the band Murphy's Law, but the idea Murphy's Law.
What is it? Yeah, the concept.
That's me.
that's what happened.
I'm Murphy.
I would call that respectfully a bomb. As I'm thinking this
Yeah,
will translate.
big
But then
time.
you'll have a set where like it felt good, everybody played good, and people seemed into it, but it wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. How do you distinguish what a bomb is? What's a bomb? in your
So
opinion?
I think there's levels to it as you get like better and like into comedy. Like if it's just like okay laughs, I'm like that was a bomb. But like when no one's laughing,
that's
like now like like your talent. if you're doing what you're supposed to do, your talent's gonna grow. Of
course.
And like there's times I've gone up there and like had like an okay set, but I've gotten really good at like understanding how to like just take the bomb, take it what it is. You know what I mean? Because there's times you cannot get out of it, and it's so funny because like there's this thing in comedy like if someone's bombing and they know it, they're trying to pull whatever they can to just get that one laugh. And
greatest
sometimes they'll run the light where you're like, dog, you're not getting it. You're not gonna get that laugh, and it just happens that way. But like.
Is that a rite of passage, though?
it has to be.
Yeah, of
Right?
course.
You gotta experience that
You-
to appreciate the good one.
There's a line I heard like you gotta know what it's like to lose in order to win.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Which I think that's like, yeah, if you haven't lost anything, then what knowledge have you like truly like gained?
Kevin Spacey.
Did he say that?
So
Kurt
like,
Russell. I don't know.
would
It's naming actors.
really established like headliner comedians have sets that they would say they bombed on?
For sure.
So it's just a ubiquitous thing. Everyone
I've had
understands
homies
it.
in sold out like headlines sold out theaters, and they'll get off stage and be like, that wasn't.
Small
And are
bomb.
you watching that? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, but then I'll get it. Like if they, especially if they know what they've like been able to
Yeah,
do
sure.
in a theater. You know what I mean? Especially when they know like what
Yeah.
they have happened before. Like it's like no, I've gotten laughter stronger than that.
You got any tricks for when a bomb is occurring?
I go,
You gotta-
I go. This is what you get. I go. I ain't tap dancing anymore.
Okay.
I was like,
retired.
I'm not gonna juggle. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna just say the rest of the set.
Okay.
That's what I do.
That's good.
It's fascinating.
Integrity.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna funk. What?
Beautiful.
Hell no. I mean, because like, where was I at? Miami. Miami's tough.
Yeah.
Really? But they're shit-faced, right? Are they
It
too
is,
shit-faced?
But it's like they want a party.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is tough. at one point in time, like when I was up there bombing, I just started. I go, you guys. I was like, this. I feel like it's leg day. I just started. I was like, like it just started ringing. Yeah, and then they come up to me after like, but that was great. I go, but you guys.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I was like, well, you guys had no reaction.
Wow.
You know, I was like, I'm not up here doing a think piece. Like,
Yeah.
So are there other cities like that where you're like, fuck, it's gone.
whenever I have to go,
It's good at night, man. I don't know.
and you know, sometimes with the Miami one, I'm like, man, that guarantee is nice.
Yeah.
So, but other cities, no. You know, there's not too many where I'm like, I hate going there.
Okay.
Most of them are pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty
Beautiful. What do you say we go check out some records?
good. Sounds great.
I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm down with
Sounds
that.
really great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Vic, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having
thank
us in
you,
your beautiful
Vic.
store.
Yes. Look at that guy. They don't make him like that.
Come
Not here.
plug the store.
Russia.
Plug
Yeah.
the store.
Mills Vintage.
Yeah.
You can come get one of these
Phobia.
before Chappelle buys it, so you better be fast.
This episode is also brought to you by Mad Vintage, baby. MADD vintage.com. Any band we're talking about on this show, you can often go on there, find the coolest shirt you ever seen, buy it. If you use code HardLore15, you're going to get 15% off that thing.
Something else that's neat that I've been doing recently too is you can also see shirts that he's had in the past. It'll say sold out, but it'll give you an idea for something you might be on the lookout for. Also, Luke at Mad Vintage he's looking to buy, he's looking to trade, he's looking to get your stuff. He was at LDB, he's gonna be at the Rumble, he's gonna be at Tied Down, he's gonna be at all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
And he's gonna have stuff with him that you're gonna want.
It's true. So save your shekels and maybe shout HardLore15 at him in person to see what he does.
Yeah.
I look forward to trying it. I'll do it very loud. So we'll see you very soon at all these places. Luke will be there, madvintage.com. Go there, check it out. Hardcore section, metal section,
Yeah.
movie section. There's all kinds of cool shit. He's got posters now, hats.
Yeah.
There's stuff you don't know you're looking for that may just alter the course of your existence.
Beautiful.
Don't quote me.
Hey, we're back with Shapel Lacey. We're at Going Underground Records in Little Tokyo. Let's go in, just find some records we like.
Let's do it.
Beautiful. Chappelle, let's find some records that shaped you here.
Okay.
What do we got? Where do we begin?
Where do we begin?
There's a punk 7-inch section over there.
Oh, there is. Yeah, that's a good section. Do you go when you walk in a record shop? Do you go for the wall first? Are you looking for the first pressing
No,
stuff?
I usually take a dip here.
I'm a
you know.
wall man.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's where the heat is still a lot of the time.
Burn.
See?
Bert?
And this is the record.
Yeah.
Shall be judged. One of the hardest mosh parts with no cymbals ever recorded. There are no snare, I guess.
No snare.
Dun, 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 dun. Incredible record.
Are you a record collector, Shapel?
You know, I barely started.
Just your favorites? you know?
Yeah, just my favorites. I was like, let me do that. Actually, I don't have trying to think. Do I have any Black Flag ones? I'm surprised. You know, a lot of fans will send me like
That's cool.
records and stuff. People are pretty generous, very, very nice.
Yeah, but a lot of this old punk stuff, especially around that time, those are
Yeah.
$5,000-$10,000 records now.
Dude,
it's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
We're Misfits guys, and it's an expensive hobby.
Expensive hobby.
I bought every Misfits bootleg that I could find because I have conceded that I'll just never own a full.
It's irresponsible.
He did give me a Walk Among Us,
I did.
Oh,
I got
nice.
it.
which was very nice.
Yeah, nice.
But
It's whatever.
Now, were
Other
you
than
were
that.
you guys also? Did you guys also get down with the Michael Graves era too?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Man, that was.
You know,
You know.
I have heard. Even Glenn has said it's not the Misfits, but it's not bad.
It's not
Is that
bad.
so?
Yes. About
it's-
about American Psycho in particular.
American. That's the one I like more.
You
than,
like that? I'm a
than
Famous Monsters guy.
You're a Famous Monsters guy. I think I'm a American Psycho. That
The
was just
song American Psycho is
Incredible.
unbelievable.
incredible,
Psycho.
dude.
Whoa.
What's
And the
the
melodies and like those.
Speak
you
of the
know,
Devil?
Speak of the Devil.
Oh, speak. Unbelievable track. You're fucking awesome.
Great.
You rule.
Yeah.
Great records. And I agree with that. It's not the Misfits.
It's not the
It's
Misfits,
not.
but it's pretty good.
You know, I'm trying to think of like, if I had to pick like a song from each one of them, like Death Comes Ripping.
Whoa.
I mean, that song just.
That's a hardcore song.
It's a hardcore song. That song rips.
We're huge champions of the Misfits to the point where we have said that without them, possibly no Metallica.
For sure.
No Metallica, no a lot.
They're early. I mean, Metallica when they first started, they were like covering Misfit songs.
They would cover Misfit songs.
You know,
they
would rock the T-shirts all the time.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that famous photo of Cliff Burton and the Misfits.
Cliff, there's a quote in Tom Begrowitz's book Scream With Me where he talks about how Cliff got the whole band of the Misfits. Like Cliff was the Misfits
He
guy.
was the guy.
And Glenn came to one of their shows and Cliff ran in the back and goes, I met him. I met the Misfits guy. He looks like Eddie Munster.
As usual. I mean, a lot of those guys, I mean, I know Rollins was a big Misfits guy, you know.
He's got 4 Misfits tattoos.
Yeah.
And he had them in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the reason Earth AD sounds the way it does. They were like, fuck this melody. Let's go
aggressive. Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go fast, for sure.
So, do you feel, Shapel, like you have made it as a comedian?
Nah.
Probably the answer.
What's the goal?
The goal, man, I mean...
You want a sitcom?
We love a sitcom.
That'd be nice.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I would love my own TV show. I would love to, you know, take my stand-up to newer heights, and I want to, you know, hit it as big as I can. And, you know, I want to graduate from clubs to theaters. I want to graduate from theaters into above and just be able to, like, you know, and I also just want to continue to get smarter. You know what I mean? Continue to gain knowledge, because I feel like that's what's made me a better comedian, for sure. Like reading and, you know, the information, like not just writing comedy, but also writing about what I feel and what is true inside of me. And yeah, I want to just get stronger and stronger at that.
What is the largest club you've had?
That I've headlined? I mean, a headline, but did not sell out. Probably one of the improvs out here, Brea Improv. I think it holds like 500. And I think I got over 200 in there. That's
great.
You know, which is, hey, not
not
bad.
It's such a different game. Comedy
game,
and music is like, a lot of the time going to a comedy show is so circumstantial. Like, I'm here, I'll go. But like drawing on your own name, even 200 people in LA, where there's 5 different comedy shows in that block.
There's so much entertainment going on throughout the day.
You're not competing with comedians anymore. You're competing with Netflix.
All the entertainment that's going on. All the, you know, it's like hard to sell tickets in LA. You know, and also people buy last minute.
One of the things that drives me crazy is somebody being like, pre-sales are pretty low. So shut the
hell up, man. Walk up. They're walking up.
They're walking up. Yeah. I know. It happened to me. I headlined. This was my first headlining in LA. It was at Hollywood Improv, which is the main room, which I think seats like 175. And I remember, you know, because I would get a lot of like, when are you going to headline LA? You know, from like fans and stuff. And so I was like, fine, let's just make it happen. And I remember, I want to say the day before the show, I saw the ticket counts. It was 35 out of 175, and I go. And I went for it. I said, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. So I, you know, did like a post on my Instagram. I said to all the people that say, when are you gonna headline LA? And then I posted the ticket counts. I said, this is why. And then eventually, but I did get like 150 in there.
That's
you know what I mean? Well, yeah, exactly. So
it's something to consider too. Is these are seats?
Yeah.
You know, it's seating. It's different from a show, which is all standing room for the most part. So, you know, we're trying to fill 500 cap rooms as consistently as possible. And that's not seated. That's a small.
Yeah, because what is 1720? 500?
900.
1720 is 900?
900.
Man, that's a big boy.
I mean, that might be off the record 900, but
it's a big boy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's fun.
So it's.
But with seats, that would be 300-400.
Yeah, 300-400.
The amount of space needed for tables and seats is so much bigger.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset.
Because I think when, like the El Rey, like when you seat it, I think it's like 500 or something like that. But like El Rey is like, isn't El Rey like close to 1,000, I think?
It's
or something
massive,
like that? Yeah, it's massive, yeah.
So it's totally
Yeah.
standing room at,
Different.
It's completely different.
Do you have, and like I know we can answer this for music, do you have a favorite set of all time?
Favorite set of all time? Favorite set of all time? What am I, Noel Gallagher? It's when we played Main Road. Favorite set of all time. That's a good one.
You walking off stage and being like, I was really good.
Yeah.
I was really funny in that set.
I think it was when I opened for my buddy at the Wiltern.
That's a big room.
Big room, yeah.
I just played there at the end of last year with Hatebreed.
Oh, nice.
Big
nice.
old
Yeah,
room.
it's a big old room.
You got to
but
pay
it was,
to pit there.
Yeah.
Are they pitting?
No, they were not pitting. No pits.
No slam
Yeah,
poetry.
it was just something that like, you know, and that was when I was like, oh, you're a theater guy. Like you can, like theater comic, like you can hold your weight.
You
and
to
I
you
did.
were saying.
I felt it strongly.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? There was just, you know, because like my style of comedy, you know, a lot of it's like about me and my life, but also like I had like a flair of like, you know, I do get a lot of compliments on like my facial, like the stuff I can do with my face. And like my friends always say, bro, Shapel can make people laugh by just making a look.
I've seen
You know
it.
what I mean? Yeah,
The
yeah.
one where the woman like was flirting with you while you're.
Oh, yeah.
I was engaged.
Yeah, yeah,
I was ready for a happy ending.
Yes.
You know?
And so
Not sexually.
that's actually, yeah, I know. Yeah. And I did not know what she looked like, but
We gotta figure it out.
but yeah, it was just like one of those sets. I just felt it, and like I felt everything. And I felt like I could have all the space that I needed, and it gave me all the room to like really make those jokes as big as they should be. Yeah,
Do you play music when you walk out?
yeah.
What do you play?
Yonkers, Tyler the Creator.
That's
Yeah.
that's like this. I feel like that's the first thing I remember seeing of his and being like, ah, man, this is gonna be the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's a cool statement.
Yeah, and also like I feel like it kind of matches like who I am as a comedian. I remember I was headlining at some venue in Austin, and this had to be 2021 or something like that, and they were just playing Pantera, and I was just like, hey man, this is not the vibe.
I know we're in Texas.
Yeah, because like I don't have like, and not everyone that comes to my show is like a fan of like that music. So I try to
don't
make it a
want
little. You don't want that, yeah. And so like I try to make it a little bit easier. I do like a more like a hip hop playlist. But also I'll throw in like 311 Turnstile on that stuff. Things a little bit more inviting to the situation. But like the hip hop is more like a Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul. Because it's like it's easy. It's easy to walk into. Whereas like they hear the Pantera, they're like, what the fuck is this? So there's some people that just don't know. They're like,
You're like, that's
And honestly, knowing that maybe worse.
Yeah,
in that scenario. Yeah.
You're like,
see those hands.
yeah, right.
Capital B. Yeah.
So I usually try to keep it, chill.
How about this? We do a thing. We do letter mosh. We do favorite records. We're gonna do both with you.
Okay.
But I would love to hear your Mount Rushmore, your top 4 comedians all time.
Okay. Richard Pryor,
Yeah.
Daniel Tosh.
Dude, a god. And he's still fucking God.
He's
He still got it.
and,
He like chooses not to do stand
and I love him for like so many reasons. He does it, but like everything is just on his own terms. He's
So
not like
thick.
he's not part of a clique. He's not part of a scene. He is just the lone wolf of Daniel Tosh, and he has a podcast that he does right now that is like really good.
Dude,
And he
episode 1, his
and he has-
wife's gynecologist.
Yeah,
or something?
and he has no comedians on it, and I love him for so many reasons because like I admire that. Like I don't want to be part of like crew or clique of
got
like
you.
comedian. It's not out of like a disrespect. It's just like I just feel better when I just can do my own thing and not
You're
have
the
to
lone
worry
wolf,
about it.
dude. You're the
yeah,
OG
Yeah, I
lone
just
wolf.
love it. Yeah, and so Daniel Tosh. Oh man, you got me.
Would it be
Bill Burr?
Life in the Sunset Strip?
Oh, for Richard Pryor?
Yeah.
How you know that?
I know some things.
Okay.
Some-
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I
It's a
know
good
that's the one, and I know that you know how that starts? That set? People are leaving because they think the show's over. There was like some miscommunication with the doors and times and someone before him. And he literally has to be like, where are you going? And like call people back to their seats.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's one of the and he gets them all back, and he gets the shows.
And
King, legend.
I mean, like, reason for Richard Pryor being like number one is you know, his level of vulnerability. He was so honest about like his life on stage, and you didn't see that in comedy like yet. And like he was like the first guy to really open that door of being honest about what was going on in his life, and like
made jokes about setting himself.
Yeah, setting himself fire.
That's my dad's favorite to me.
Yeah, which like people like, you know, like, yeah, people want to hide that stuff, you know, because they don't have the humility, you know, and so like, yeah, I'm very open about like a lot of things in my life and very honest, and a lot of it goes to, you know, because of Richard Pryor and like, you know, Daniel Tosh, just because I just love how he just says the craziest shit to me. He's just ruthless. And it's like,
that's another thing where it's like intelligence.
It's intelligence and like how ruthless he is. It's just and then he gets away with it. Yeah. And you know, and then I would say Bill Burr. And Bill Burr, because of like
fucking
to this day.
to this day, obviously, you know, everyone knows the Philly story of him, you know, going off.
That's how you bomb.
That's how you bomb, and that's how you like
bomb really, the audience.
Yeah, you're like I'm socking all you people with this. But no, with him, you know, it was a beautiful thing of like this guy's an angry guy. His foundation is angry, but he brings it into the world of funny. Yeah. And you know, that's something I can appreciate because I've gone through anger management since I was like 15 years old. So like hearing him do that and be able to project that the way he does, like I really, really, truly admire.
He also does anger with a perspective that I wouldn't normally consider. Where I'll
dude, I hear him and I go, he's right.
He's right. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, because he's he really steps outside of it to like really, you know, throw what he can in it. And a lot of it's because I don't think he's like, don't we realize both of these arguments are crazy? You know, like he's really good at staying like in that middle ground part of it. And then last but not least, I'd say Eddie Murphy. You know, Eddie Murphy, because of like the strength of his career. You know, one of my favorite things about Eddie Murphy is when he's on stage, you know, and he does a character or anything, you no longer see Eddie Murphy. You see exactly which is a strength beyond strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It all comes back to Phil.
Yeah, right. That, you know, even to this day, a lot of comedians just don't know how to like do it. It's a very, very powerful thing. Like when he does an act out and you're like, I don't see Eddie anymore. I just see, I see an Italian man. Wow, you know what I mean? Like I see the character. Rocco. Yeah, Rocco. Yeah, like it's like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Are you a Delirious or a Raw guy?
Oh, man. I say Raw.
Really?
Raw's the one I probably like ripped through the most.
Yeah. Raw, he's wearing the red thing.
That's Delirious.
That's Delirious.
That's my favorite. That's probably my favorite stand-up.
He did that because of Richard Pryor.
Yeah, and
that
so
was like an homage.
So what's crazy is he was 22 when he did Delirious, and 24 when he did Raw. Wow. Think about that.
Wow,
it's unreal. Like you can see why it's like, oh, this is about to be the biggest star in the world.
Biggest star. And then like, yeah, obviously it's transitioned into movies and stuff like that, and like, you know, 48 Hours, and obviously up to like Nutty Professor, you know, like
all goated.
Norbit, dude.
Norbit is unbelievable. Norbit is maybe the movie I've seen the most in my life.
Norbit, Rasputia, like come on.
Yeah, it's unreal, dude.
How unreal
he was still operating at unimaginable levels in Norbit. Norbit does not get his due.
Norbit does not get his due. But anyone that likes Norbit, like they love
That's
it.
That's real shit, dude.
It's like anyone that ever talks about
Norbit community.
Yeah, there's a Norbit community.
We're out here.
You've heard of Reddit? You heard of Reddit community?
Norbit? I'm on there, dude.
We're out there, dog.
The admin of our set.
Yeah. You'll find me on there. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad to find another Norbit head.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
You know who big Norbit heads? Trapped in the Ice.
Really?
Oh yeah.
They're big Norbit heads.
Big.
It's a community, man. It's like the Jeep community.
It is.
The Jeep wave, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
What's the thing? The ducks.
The ducks. Yeah,
I'm gonna start leaving little Rasputias on all the Jeep stuff on. You're gonna love it.
That would be hilarious.
Does comedy, like something we experience that there's like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? The parasocial aspect of podcasting and music, where like people that watch our show send us reels all day. You got people sending you reels?
Yeah, dude.
And I don't even be looking like that.
I actually like, what do you? Why would I like this reel? You know, and how do you assume I haven't seen this reel?
And also, I assume I haven't been sent it a dozen times.
A dozen times. Yes.
And the cool with the reels, all right? We make them.
Yeah.
We don't need
Cool,
them.
yeah.
I've consumed them enough.
I've
Don't send me.
consumed too many.
Okay, so you're getting reels too.
Yes.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, it
This is
happens.
another crossover with wrestling music and it sounds like comedy is the people who they we're friends.
Yeah.
I know you.
Yeah.
I watch you all the time. I know you.
Oh, there was one time actually, I don't remember where I was, somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. This dude just came up, he just started talking shit to me.
What?
He was at the show. I said, excuse me? He's like, man, I was like, bro, I don't know you. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, let me get a picture. I said, you get the fuck out of my face. Say, that's what you can do. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. I was like, you don't get no picture. He's like, come on, man, stop being a bitch ass. And I go, bro,
That's crazy.
Again, you don't want it. I was like, you're not getting a picture. You won't like that picture. You know what I mean?
I will front flip.
Yeah.
Kick you in the head.
And then the security just caught a vibe, and the security was big, dude. He had the biggest hands, and he just came up and like just grabbed the dude or whatever, and like took him out. But because I was just like, yo, like,
What has happened?
I was like, this is about to be on film, bro. Your friends are gonna film this. It was just crazy, because he assumed because he listened to the like podcasts that I'm on, and like seeing me and my friends like. How we go at each other, and they sometimes think that they can do it too, and this is like too comfortable. So like, and I'm just not that guy.
He'll make a joke or something, the no riff thing.
Bozo, for example. Great name, but that's for me.
But if somebody comes up to you and is like, what's up, Bozo? I'm like,
Fuck.
You haven't, and it's like, bro, we've never met.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know you at all.
does it happen to you where, we record whatever, comes out weeks later, and people will
Correct you.
they'll be like, oh, just so you know, and you're like, dude,
The brand of that air conditioner that year was actually
I got corrected
a Mitsubishi.
I got corrected on a type of air conditioner, and I was like, that was a month ago.
Really?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, there's some things they'll say that I'm like, I have no clue.
I don't
Like,
remember.
We're
that.
grateful.
I'm like,
for the
once I'm
support.
done with it, it's like
it's gone.
Yeah,
it's
thank
just
you-
gone from.
Thank you for listening, but this isn't scripted.
Yeah.
Just fucking talk.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
it lives in perpetuity, and we got.
I do hate the amount of like opportunity people can have to like tell you their opinion on shit that
Oh.
you do.
Do you read comments?
I'll read comments, but a lot of times it's just like I think earlier on it used to like be annoying, but a lot of times I'm like, bro, they literally don't know who I am.
Yeah.
So it's like they're saying things that like doesn't even.
Or you go to their page and you're just like, oh man, you are going to kill
Yeah,
yourself.
there's
It's inevitable.
Yeah,
I've looked
yeah.
at
I see the house.
Yeah.
I see the.
it. No good. I can hear the smoke.
I see that the wife is not in the current market.
She's out of the bio.
She's down in the 2019 picture. She is not in the 2025
You're ready to
pictures.
go.
Yeah, I don't.
You know.
I can't read them. I don't.
This ain't about me. you
Yeah,
know?
there was one comment where someone was like, what does this guy say? I was on Bobby Lee's podcast, and this guy was like, man, why y'all keep bringing Chappelle around? He ain't it. And I was like, fine, dude, I'll quit. And then he goes, finally you say something funny. I was like, all right, I'm coming back then. Now I'm back. What's
Funny
good,
enough
dude?
for a podcast?
Yeah, I'm back, dude. You gave me all the courage, But yeah, it's just like a lot of times I don't, I used to like take it like a little serious because I'm just like, who the fuck are you? But then there's literally nothing you could do about it.
Absolutely.
There's literally nothing you could do about it. But it's just like, I hate that it's like, because there was a time where like, where you just put the art out there and like whatever people said about it is what it was, or however people received it, that's how you could tell what it was. But
don't worry.
it's like I don't need like you to tell me anything specific or detailed or whatever, blah blah blah, because I'm like, you don't do it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? You just consume it.
I just don't want to read it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm off the sauce.
You know, the sauce?
Yeah, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I get in my own head.
Yeah, because it is wild.
I don't think I could do what you do. Like
It's
I
tough.
truly don't, because music and even this, there's stuff that kind of speaks for me.
You're
That's-
speaking.
I
We
don't
were
care.
talking about how-
I never care if someone says I'm not funny or if I'm a hack or anything like that. That doesn't bother me at all because it's like,
I just got the check just cleared.
yeah, exactly, yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's all subjective. You know what I mean? Like, like if someone says that they don't think I'm funny, well, I'm like, okay, well, there's fucking other group over here that actually understands it and gets it and thinks I'm funny. So
There's
it's like,
tickets.
Yeah, there's tickets. So it's like, but as far as it goes, like,
When we were talking,
yeah, I want to sock somebody sometimes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Good.
but we're talking about the how comedians have maybe cracked the code. one of the cons is that it is just you. If somebody critiques my band or a song, it's like, well, there's 5 of us.
There's 5 of us.
This took a year.
I didn't write that riff.
I didn't-
Told you it sucked.
But so yeah, there.
No, it's all
is
on
that.
you. And then when you're just up there and like you just see that no one's laughing, you really feel it. You feel it. You feel that.
It's an interesting, like with music, like if you're playing with maybe a less heavy band or a less aggressive band, but something that still kind of fits.
Mixed
like,
bill.
Yeah.
Like when we played with Godflesh, of course people aren't killing each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for that. It's like, yeah, this is what we're doing. Comedy, it doesn't really work that way.
No.
Yeah, mixed.
Go
What's
there
a
and do
mixed
one thing.
bill in comedy? Different styles,
Yeah.
Guitar guy, and
juggling,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've performed with like jugglers and stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Really?
straight up,
Yeah.
Are they-
But no one wants to follow that.
because they're dope as hell.
Oh, bro, everyone's
Dude, magic, unbelievable.
You're like, dude. I mean, this is a guy juggling and like telling a joke at the same time. You're like, I can't follow
Can't
that.
do
You
that.
know. Then you go up there. You're like, hey, so the other day I was, hanging
I
out with my
wasn't
girlfriend.
juggling.
Yeah, right. You're just a regular speaker. You know what I mean? Like,
So crowd work?
yeah.
What's the process there? What's the art behind working?
I mean, you just got to listen.
Picking
A lot
out
of
a
people.
target.
A lot of people will deliver. A lot of people will say things to you, and they don't even mean to. But a lot of people will let you know everything that you need to know about them.
loading the gun for
But
you.
then just and they don't even like I'm telling you, it's not even their intention to like get you to make fun of whatever it is that they're delivering to you. But they can just. Well, I think it's just like you just listen, and people will just say things. You know what I mean? And I don't do things of like I don't really care what you do for work. That's not a lot of times as much as like who are you?
Yeah.
I'm like why'd you like I'll do shit like why'd you dress this way tonight?
And that's
Yeah.
what do you say?
And then
fuck, man, this is me. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
you know.
bad.
So that's kind of like what I do.
Sure.
Yeah.
remember that Beast Milk band I talk about all the
Yeah,
time?
there's that.
Beast Milk 7-inch, and I don't have that color. So
You
Oh,
getting
the
that?
blue.
I don't have the blue.
Beautiful. You want to see if we can find some of your favorite records in the world?
Let's see if we can.
I
I-
bet there's LPs.
I want to know your 4 favorite hardcore records of all time.
I want to see if we
Maybe we
You
can
want it
find
right
a
now?
couple. No, let's see if we can find anyone.
I mean, one of them we'll be able to find for sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
good.
I'm going to the bees.
Yeah. Just kidding, guys. It's Bright Eyes.
Hey, a couple tracks.
A couple tracks.
Here we go.
There we go. There it is.
First 4. We got first 4.
Hmm.
What do you think of that?
Of course.
You can point to.
Of course.
Okay, we got one.
The beauty. I love the beauty of first 4 because you have the first like 3 singers of Black Flag. Like you got Keith, Ron, and Dez, and just
But would you
what
say
they were doing.
Henry is your guy?
Henry is definitely
He's
my
the
guy.
guy.
In
The
all
guy.
ways, right?
Always 1,000%.
I love that.
1,000%.
Is there a specific Black Flag record that's the one?
Yeah, it's on the Rushmore. Can I say it yet or no?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, let's hear it,
We'll
let's
do
hear
it
it.
incrementally. It's
Oh,
Yeah.
Damage.
damage.
Damage is my record. Yep.
Right into the-
Damage is the. I mean, that is Bible to me.
Was that Rollins' first full length with that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Slip It In?
I like Slip It In. Yeah. Slip It In is that. Yeah, I do like it. I think I like watching them do it live than I do like the. But there's just something about that. Just the way that record hits immediately with Rise Above, and and just spray paint the walls, and like tracks like No More, Police Story. You know what I mean?
And they're doing the 3,000
Depression.
tickets at the Palladium.
Yeah, depression and like those just like hit in a way that like so I always say this like that's like the Korn and like Slipknot, like the new metal stuff, like that helped me understand like what I was in, but punk and hardcore was like, here's what you're gonna do about it.
Ooh. I like that.
You're awesome.
I liked that. Good sisters.
You're good. You're good. I like when you say stuff.
What's
That's from Confucius.
I like when you say stuff.
so we got one on the Mount Rushmore.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damage.
Damn.
Give me number 2.
Let's see if we can find
See if
number
we
2.
can't find it.
DRI dealing with it.
Ooh.
I love DRI.
Are you a crossover guy in general?
So it's not. No, not necessarily.
DRI
but
just does it
But
for you.
DRI was just. It just packed such a strong punch. I think the first song I heard from DRI was "I Don't Need Society," and when I heard that, numbers up, you have to go. Systems, and I didn't even know anything about war or army or anything, but it was just like I took it the approach of like this is like I don't need my stepdad.
There's
how I saw
something in it for us.
Yeah, there's something in it. It wasn't like because I was like I don't know anything about fucking military or whatever, blah blah blah. But it was just like being 14 years old and hearing I don't need society. But it was just like I don't need my stepdad. I don't need my stepdad.
I mean, before he and I really knew each other,
Yeah.
I interpreted Preacher Man on my own, and it fit my situation. Totally different situations. I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I just think there's that's the point. It is clay, and you can shape it how
Yeah.
you want.
And the songs you write, they're not yours anymore once they're out.
Once they're out there, yeah.
Every song I like is about me. you
Yeah,
know?
I think Donald Glover said something about like Donald Glover, Childish Gambino was in some interview where he talked about like basically what you put out there, like, and they were asking him in an interview like, what's that song about? He goes, whatever you think it is. How'd you interpret it? You know what I mean? Like, just it doesn't have to be like this is all the song's about and that's it. And it's like a lot of times it's not.
Tarantino-esque,
Yeah, all the great
Yeah.
stories. I mean, you don't need to spell it all out for me. Give me some.
Just let me feel it.
Figure it out.
All right, so we got DRI, we got Black Flag. What's number 3?
Minor Threat. I mean, the power behind that band is just
No Minor Threat.
like it just fucking really I mean, there's so much to say about them, and it's timeless, and with it opening with filler and then following and I don't want to hear it, and then to Seeing Red, and especially Seeing Red, like you see me and you laugh it loud, and I felt that way like as a kid too, and just feeling alienated and never feel like you could connect with a lot of people, and that was like a record that like here's your individuality, hold on to that.
Absolutely.
That's what that's what the whatever the first 2 7-inches I think is what they titled it or whatever. But
the record ends with the song "Minor Threat."
yeah, exactly.
Which just leaves you like, I gotta start this over.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're just holding on to all that, and it's like I don't know, it's just beauty to me.
I don't like to say that there's like you have to like this, you have to,
But there's guides.
But I do think the Minor Threat record is like one of them.
The Minor Threat record.
The Minor Threat record is a pillar.
Yeah.
That you gotta have to have an appreciation for this.
Yeah, 1000%.
All of your favorite bands would agree.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the proof.
Yeah, if you don't have an Out of Step or Bars logo or
or the Fiend Skull.
Yeah, Fiend Skull,
That's the other one.
fucking the band in DC, fucking, the lightning or that lightning.
Capitol, yeah.
Those are earned.
Earned.
Every single one of those are earned with blood.
Those are earned with blood. When I got my Bars logo tattoo, where is it at? Right here, I think. When I got the Bars logo tattoo, it was actually because I was doing for English class in college. They were like, we had to do a paper on our favorite author, and I chose Henry Rollins. Wow. And I remember I was in the middle of like writing it, and I was getting so hyped, and I was just like explaining just like why this dude and his words mean so much to me, and I hit my friend up. I was like, "Hey, yo, man!" I was like, "I'm gonna get the Bars logo right now." He goes, "Right now?" I go, "Yep, let's go get it." And the paper was like due tomorrow. Or whatever.
That was part of the paper.
And so now it's part of the paper. So then I went, left, and got it, and then boom, finished the paper.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Are you Getting the Band fan?
Yeah, of course, man.
Have you
Those
listened to
stories
the
are
audiobook?
crazy.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
He reads.
Oh, he reads it? I have to listen to that. And I'm not an audiobook guy. I have to be a guy that's like
neither
but
am I.
But like his voice.
Does he elaborate on stuff that's not written?
He'll expand on stories and he'll give you a little more background, and it's so obviously him and his voice and the way, I don't know, just when you hear an inflection and like the attitude of how he meant a sentence, it changes, and it is something that I will throw on if I'm like, I don't want to fucking tour, man. I want to go home. This sucks. And then it's like, oh yeah, I was in a gear truck for 8 hours in the dark.
The one thing that you hear from a lot of like a lot of those like like old punk documentaries or punk interviews, it's like they always talk about how hard Black Flag went.
They were the band.
They were the band. They practiced hard, they played hard, and they traveled hard.
They would practice every day. They would practice before the show.
Full-time job.
Yeah,
Full
they were
time.
practicing. Yeah, there was one year like they were practicing on like Christmas.
Christmas
you know what
morning.
I mean? Yeah, Christmas morning.
1982.
Yeah,
At
crazy.
the church.
The church. Yeah,
Couldn't be me. I'm busy that day.
Yeah, that's my one
He said,
day.
couldn't be me.
I got a stocking waiting for me.
What's number 4?
So I don't even know if number 4 would be in here because it's one of those like underground Swedish bands that I like. But it's DS13, and the record is called Vad vet vi om kriget.
What does it mean?
Something about war. Something about war.
Yeah.
What we fight for.
Or something like that? What is it?
How'd you know that?
I speak German, so it's a little.
Oh yeah. Oh, got it. Swedish and yeah. Wow.
He's super.
I think
combined,
I think it fully means what we know about the war.
There we go.
What we know about war, if you will. But that record was like I loved all that stuff, man.
I'm gonna check it out now. I've never listened to it.
Yeah.
And that, like, the fact that it grabbed you, like, that's interesting to me. That you were punk kid, and then I'm into this.
Yeah.
I find that that's interesting.
Do you have, like, we ask people all the time, like a favorite tour a band has done?
Yeah.
We're like,
Favorite
we're going
tour?
out. Are you hitting the road with with another comedian for a month?
No, I haven't done anything like. Oh, actually, Bert Kreischer. Never mind. Yeah, what
on
am
a
I
bus,
talking
right?
about? Yeah. That was my first time on a tour bus. I did his arena tour. I did some shows with him.
That's fun,
Which
huh?
was like,
And you were on the bus too.
on the bus.
He had a bus?
nice little. Dude, it's custom.
Yeah.
So it's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because he's got a picture of Martin Luther King like right when you walk in, and I was like, "Dog, I already agreed to the tour."
Oh, sorry, I meant that.
Yeah, I was like, I already
that
agreed.
out?
Yeah, right. It was like, but yeah, that was so much fun. It was me. I don't know if you heard of Adam Ray. Adam Ray does like a lot of the Dr. Phil,
Totally.
yeah,
Oh,
character.
dude.
Yeah, so we were on the Serena tour together, and Bert's got like the most amazing fans. One night we got to kick it with Dave Chappelle at like in Yellow Springs or whatever.
Did he
Kicking
freak
with-
out about your first name?
So it was funny.
What?
So we were so Dave was like, "You guys want to do IVs?" And I was like, "What? Like, we're just gonna do IVs?" We just did like the
I've done one time. It was incredible.
yeah. He goes so like I think he had like a nurse on call or on site or on call or whatever, and so she comes over and like me, him, Bert, and a few other guys. We're all sitting in a circle. Adam Ray, we're just doing IVs, hanging, talking about
That's
music.
awesome.
And Dave Chappelle's like, let's see who can finish the fastest, and
squeezed
yeah. And so we're sitting there chilling, having a good time. We're talking about music. We're going off about like he loves Nirvana.
Interesting.
We were going off about Nirvana, and then Bert goes, Dave, I don't know if you know this, but like his name is Chappelle. And he goes, that's your last name? And I was like, no, it's my first name. He goes, well, may the best Chappelle win, and started squeezing it.
No.
Yes. I'm just fucking with you. And it was like a moment where I was like, damn,
Out of
this
body
is-
experience.
Yeah, out of body experience. Like to be around that guy for sure.
really cool.
And he's great storyteller, great in conversation, and just spoke so much knowledge on the world of comedy. And Bert had asked him, he was like, how do you feel about like some of the hate you get or whatever that the backlash you get from some of your specials? And he said it in such a simple way and like but powerful way. He was just like, I only pay attention to the people that are right there. He goes, I don't pay attention to people that did not come to the show.
See, Dave's not reading comments.
Yeah, he was like, I only pay attention to the people that are right there in front of me.
I love that.
Because he goes, I know how they're reacting, I know how it's making them feel, and it's right there in front of me. He goes, someone that's not there, what does that mean? Okay.
Let's talk about the road a little bit.
Okay.
Oh man.
I want to hear about hotels. I want to know your preferred hotel chain.
I like those boutique hotels, Kimpton.
Ooh, okay.
See, not even on my radar.
I'm bougie.
Yeah, you're up there.
What's
That's
your
good. Good
What's
for
your protocol?
For what?
Get in the room. What's step one?
Set one, I do not do anything to the bed until like I'm ready to go to sleep.
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Like I
You
like
talk or untuck that thing?
I untuck it.
Good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
You got
Oh,
it.
dude, every time I'm under there, I'm like, this, I feel like it's squeezing me.
What's on TV?
ESPN.
ESPN.
Yeah.
You're not a diners, drive-ins, and dives guy.
No, I just leave it on ESPN because it plays constantly,
What if there's like YouTube?
and I don't even watch sports heavy.
Really?
Yeah,
You just I mean,
yeah. So YouTube, a lot of times they have a TV for me in the green room. That's what I asked for. I'm Beyonce, but no, a lot of times they just have a TV in there, and I watch skateboarding.
that's cool.
Yeah, I just have like skateboarding
Kind of
playing.
get in the zone.
Yeah.
There's a flow.
Yeah, I'll just be watching.
You talked
all,
about
like,
skating earlier. Is that something you still do?
From time to time. I haven't done it in a minute. I try to do it as much as I can, but I haven't done it because I slammed really hard before a show, and it was a pretty hard slam.
Can you do a frontside grind?
Yeah.
Underdog says that's the best trick. That's all I've heard.
How about food? Ask him some food.
Oh man. So you eat good?
Yeah, I eat pretty good.
We love you.
Yeah,
We're-
I love
You
a
don't
good
drink. You don't do anything.
No, don't
That's
do
all
that.
we have.
We eat.
That's all we
Yeah.
have in this life.
Yeah, that's all we have.
What are you looking for on tour?
Man, I like the restaurants that are kind of like, I don't like to go to the ones that like, everyone's like, you got to go to this restaurant because it's like, feels very touristy to me. I want to go to something where it's like, what is that local
That's the
restaurant?
key.
That is.
I think that's the biggest key is like going to something like that. It's like, because Rollins, he says whenever he goes on the road or if he goes anywhere to any country or any city or whatever, he will not do anything touristy. He wants to be in the neighborhoods. He wants to like understand who these people are, what it is, because you're going to get the most, that's where you're going to get all the authenticity of what that place is.
So then let's pivot. What are some favorites that you found with this method, or any particular city where you're like, the food here is incredible?
Every time I go to Philly, these dudes, gosh, I wish I remember the name of the restaurant, but these dudes who own like they have their own like shoe store, where they sell like Jordans and stuff like that. They're called like Suplex or whatever, Suplex shoe store.
So hungry.
Yeah, and they took me to this Philly cheesesteak place that was kind of like hidden.
Yeah.
And like they were the guys getting there at like 3 a.m. to start making the bread because the bread has to taste a certain way, and like the way they do the meat and the cheese and the combo together, and like they have like different styles, and it was like so damn good.
Damn.
And I never forget that place. It was
the name,
so
but
good.
you did
the
forget the
name.
name.
Yeah, I know the name. Yeah,
It's not
I'm
important.
sorry. I never forget that.
Well,
that
the
taste of
chef
that
killed
town.
himself right in
Yeah,
front of you, so
yeah,
nobody
exactly.
could ever eat it
I'm
again.
sorry about that.
No, but it's okay. It's okay. Gatekeep a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta gatekeep. I gotta gatekeep.
Someone's gonna say it in the comments anyway.
I hate
100%
gatekeeping, but I'm gonna gatekeep that one.
Certain things you have to.
Yeah.
Now, on a day where let's say you're in a city where that luxury is not afforded to you.
Yeah,
The
you
local eateries are maybe a little scary.
What I found out from some like gym bros on how to cause like I'm not eating that nasty ass shit, whatever the fucking some of these other cities got. Cause a lot of times I'm like, I'm not going in that fucking place.
Sure.
Eat your cheese curds.
Wow.
We don't got a lot up there.
But you know what saves me on the road if I just want to eat something like healthy or whatever is Chick-fil-A. I'll just get grilled chicken nuggets.
They're the best.
And then
A little farty.
a little party, yeah.
Party.
And then I'll do like the kale salad, and that like saves me.
Little.
Dude,
Yeah.
the thing about
On the road.
those, and this we're kind of getting into the weeds, the macros on those chicken nuggets are excellent.
Really good.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, big time.
Oh, I didn't even know.
The grilled nuggets.
I just like found out, like I was like on YouTube, I was like, things you can eat while on the road by like, I don't know by gym bros or whatever.
Yeah.
And they literally broke down like Chick-fil-A, what you can get there. Obviously Chipotle is like another one
Yeah.
that saves people, but yeah, those like, that's usually if I'm in an area where it's like, they ain't got nothing that I'm like, won't even like, oh,
What if
you
you want to get a little naughty?
what?
What's your poison, food-wise?
What is my poison?
Yeah, like what's
food-wise?
like the worst fast food that you're like, I'm just gonna do it.
Taco Bell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do?
Listen,
Gosh, I'll
That
load
bell
up
gets
on
wrong.
a crunch wrap with a bean and cheese burrito, with a potato salt taco, with the Cinnabon delights, and I'll get nacho fries, man. I'll freaking. It's
a good order.
nacho fries.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Here's the thing. It may not be Mexican food, but it doesn't taste like anything else. It's a planet of its own.
Chalupas, man, like,
Oh, dude. I love a chorizo.
dude.
Chicken chalupa.
And I feel like so sad about myself. Like, I'll just be in my
You're never happy about it.
in my underwear, just like
You
Just
Baja?
getting the cheese off it.
right, Baja, like right, Baja all
Baja
day,
Zero, dude.
Baja all day.
Game changer. There's something about you that is just, I want you to win. You
Yeah,
know?
I appreciate
And
that.
I think that's kind of the universal sentiment.
Yeah.
It's like from everybody I know that knows you, it's just like, and this lovely day we've had,
Yeah,
I feel good.
you feel good.
I feel good talking to us.
I feel good. I try to make things good. I used to be crazy, and it catches people off guard.
Are you still crazy a little bit?
Hell yeah!
When
I
does,
know
when
I
does it
am.
come out? What'll do it? Actually,
Man.
we won't worry about that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we won't worry about that.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, good boy. He's a good boy. Is that a song?
That's
Oh,
John.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good girl. Yeah,
John
yeah,
Mellencamp.
yeah.
Hot dog. Chili dog.
That's
No, it's Tom Petty.
Tom Petty. Mellencamp.
Yeah, Tom
Petty Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah, right.
Hot dog.
Tom Petty Prince Mellencamp.
Sucking on a hot dog.
No, yeah, I don't even want to like be crazy anymore. I love like everything that I'm doing, everything where I'm at, and just I feel like I've gotten really good at like cutting out bullshit and just like letting things exist where they exist and like focusing on the things that are like more important. Like I just want to stay grounded, like as I like reach new heights. I mean, I sold out my first weekend ever in Chicago at Zanies, and the shows were sold out before I even got there.
That is from a band's point of view, that's the best feeling. And like you're not hometown and it's sold out in pre-sale, that's the best.
Yeah, and so I was just like, whoa, and like getting there and having that experience, and I also want to stay like grounded and not let that like get to my head. I don't want to be walking out like know. And don't get me wrong, I'm always going to embrace those moments and feel like I feel it in a different way than I do of arrogance. You know what I mean? Like I just appreciate it. Like, damn, this is like it's really really paying off. But don't get me wrong, when I had to go to Appleton, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to follow a sold out weekend to Appleton. I was like,
You ever been there?
Taylor's from there.
From there.
As
Brutal.
is Nick.
have you ever been there?
No.
Dude,
I'll never be there.
it is
I'll never have any reason to be there.
small.
My girlfriend and two of the dudes in my band are from there.
They're from Appleton?
Like in the
Wow.
area. One is from Appleton.
Yeah.
But it's all one thing up there. And it's different.
It's different. But other than that, like it is, I just love being able to work and be able to create and be able to like gain knowledge. That's like the biggest things I love.
You playing a band now?
How you know that?
I don't know.
He's got his little birds.
Can you tell me a little bit?
Nardwar?
I'm at HardLore. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, I have wow. Okay, yeah. I have a band called Mad Peaceful, which is basically the name comes from like who I am, Yeah, and so it's like a kind of play on words as well. And but I during the pandemic, we didn't have any like comedy stuff was like just all shut down, and the only thing that was like really open was like practice spaces for bands. And so there's a few comedians, my homie Joel Jimenez and my homie Ryan Clark. They're also comedians, but they also like Joel's a drummer, Ryan's a bass player, and then we have a buddy named Chris, who's a guitar player that Joel had brought into the picture, and then I had brought in one of my really good friends from back home in Arizona, this guy Chase, and we just started doing cover songs, right?
Awesome.
Are you singing?
And I sing, and then one day I came in with an original, and they were like, I was like, is this cool?
Lyrically or musically?
On guitar.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're a riffer, dude.
Yeah. So I came in with the original, and they were like, all right, let's run it. And I was just like, really? For me?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of had the energy and just kept flowing it from there. And then, I had played some stuff for Toby Morris, and he was, big encouragement, like, yo, man, why don't you guys do a show? Why don't you guys record some things or whatever? And so we kind of just took it from there, and people book us. It's like funny.
That's what's up.
People book us. I mean, we play program, played a lot of spaces. Obviously, Luis from Alpha and Omega, he's booked us on some stuff before. And
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Took me on all my first tours.
Yeah.
I'm going to juxtapose that, though. Bert Kreischer, arena stuff, tour bus, program.
Yeah,
You know what I
cool.
mean? That's
Yeah.
what this show
Yeah.
is about.
Yeah.
We
Being
want to
both,
showcase.
you know.
And then we played a show which like caught us off guard. We played also Death by Stereo. I got to give them a lot of love because they put us on some shows at like Alex's Bar and Wayfarer and
Early favorite for me.
yeah.
Sink or swim.
Oh, dude!
Or Death by
And by the
Stereo.
way, and what's really cool about that, you know, the circle of that is Paul Miner has done like a lot of our recordings.
Oh, has he? Yeah. The homie Paul Miner.
We love Paul Miner. Like he's great.
He did Big Kiss Goodnight, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
And
did.
Keepers of Faith.
Yeah, Keepers of Faith. He's done a lot.
Done a lot.
And so, yeah, we played a show. We randomly met Trey Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And because his wife has a punk band called One Less Zero, and they were on that Death by Stereo show with us, and we were all like, man, wouldn't it be funny if Trey Cool showed up? And then me and Joel were backstage, and Joel was like getting his drums, and all of a sudden the gate opens. We were like looking for like a car to come in or whatever, and walks Trey Cool, and then he starts talking to my drummer. He goes, I like that snare. And my drummer was like, you do? Yeah, right, yeah. And so,
Dude, that's one of the most secret rippers of all time.
Trey?
He has no business being that.
dude,
going that
he
hard.
is absolutely
He's
insanely
insane.
good.
Yeah.
The right hand.
Yes,
He's doing
dude,
16th
dude, the whole time,
Yeah.
and it just like effortlessly. But so he watched our band play. He goes, I'm gonna watch you guys.
That's special.
And he was like screaming. He was like filming us. He goes, he goes, let me airdrop these to you. You filmed us like we were his kids, you know. And then like fast forward to like I want to say like a year or so later, they asked us to play a show, and it happened to be Billy Joe Armstrong's cover band called the Cover Ups.
That's awesome.
And we played at the Tiki in Costa Mesa, Tiki Bar, whatever it's called. And that was like one of the craziest shows I think we played because it sold out and people were there like from the start of the show.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it was like, that's probably the biggest one.
What kind of
we've
covers
done.
does this band play in? Out of curiosity.
They do everything.
Yeah?
You know, they do everything from like they did a Van Halen cover, they do a Misfits cover, you know what I mean? Like, so they kind of like range it, you know.
Love it.
Buzzcocks, you know, they do Buzzcock covers, you know, like kind of stay like this, you know, unique range of what they do. But
Beautiful.
yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah.
What was the name of the band again?
Mad Peaceful.
Mad
That's crazy. I'm always shocked whenever people come to me after my show. They're like, "Man, I love Mad Peaceful," and I go, "How do you know who I am?" Like, yeah, you really know who I am.
We care. We care. That's why we're here. This was such a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
A lovely chat. Are there any imparting words you would like to leave the HardLore world with?
Yeah. Read. Just read. Always read. You won't feel it. I think the thing that I've learned for myself with reading is like you won't think the world is as crazy as what you know are surrounded by. You'll start to like see a different perspective, and it'll help you stay grounded and not so like intense and relaxed and at ease.
Wow.
You know.
No one's ever advised for reading.
I'm gonna learn to read, and it's all thanks to you.
I'm gonna take reading classes.
I'm gonna do it. Man.
Figure it out, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. No. This was amazing.
What a
Thank you
beautiful
guys.
chat.
So much.
Yes. Yes.
Shapel Lacey
Yes.
on tour, probably by you soon.
Yes.
Mad Peaceful, 7-inch out soon on HardLore Records.
Yeah.
See you all next week. Bye.